Hello students, welcome to the lecture on structured query language, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Understand the concept of SQL commands, discuss about SQL operators, describe the structure, date and time, understand the concept of data types in SQL and explain query writing. Let us start with SQL. SQL, Structured Query Language, is a query language for relational databases. The latest standard SQL 99 even includes XML. In the following units, we will give a simple overview of the most important SQL functions. SQL, Structured Query Language, is one of the main reasons for the commercial success of relational databases. SQL is a descriptive, entity-oriented query language for data manipulation with its roots in relational algebra. SQL actually consists of three sub-languages. DDL, Data Definition Language, used for creating databases and tables and for maintaining the structure. DML, Data Manipulation Language, used for accessing and extracting data from a database, add, update, delete, etc. DCL, Data Control Language, used to control access to the database and therefore essential for the security system. Data types. Each column in an SQL table declares the types that column may contain. Character N or char n, fixed width n character string padded with spaces as needed. Character varying n or varchar n, variable width string with a maximum size of n characters. National character n or nchar n, fixed width string supporting an international character set. National character varying n or nvarchar n, variable width nchar string. Bit n, an array of n bits. Bit varying n, an array of up to n bits. Integer and small int. Float, real and double precision. Numeric, precision, scale, or decimal, precision, scale. SQL provides a function to round numeric or dates called trunc in Informix, DB2, PostgreSQL, Oracle and MySQL, or round in Informix, Sybase, Oracle, PostgreSQL and Microsoft SQL Server. Date for data values, example 2010, 05, 30. Time for time values, example 14, 55, 37. The granularity of the time value is usually a tick, 100 nanoseconds. Time with time zone or time stamp, the same as time but including details about the time zone in question. Time stamp. This is a date and a time put together in one variable. Example 2010, 05, 30, 14, 55, 37. Time stamp with time zone or time stamp TZ. The same as time stamp but including details about the time zone in question. SQL provides several functions for generating a date time variable out of a date time string. To date, to time, to timestamp, as well as for extracting the respective members, seconds for instance, of such variables. The current system date time of the database server can be called by using functions like now. Writing SQL commands. The most common operation in SQL is the query, which is performed with the declarative select statement. Select retrieves data from one or more tables or expressions. Standard select statements have no persistent effects on the database. Some non-standard implementations of select can have persistent effects, such as the select into syntax that exists in some databases. The idea of null was introduced into SQL to handle missing information in the relational model. The introduction of null or unknown along with true and false is the foundation of three-valued logic. Null does not have a value and is not a member of any data domain, but is rather a placeholder or mark for missing information. Therefore, comparisons with null can never result in either true or false, but always in the third logical result, unknown. SQL uses null to handle missing information. It supports three-valued logic 3VL, and the rules governing SQL three-valued logic 3VL are shown below. P and Q represent logical states. The word null is also a reserved keyword in SQL used to identify the null special marker. In languages like SQL, data from a certain domain from that match some condition where are selected and presented select. The result can be seen as a new relation. The syntax of a basic SQL query is select, select list, from list, where, condition. In this syntax, the select list contains the names of the attributes, columns, values to be returned. From list is the list of the relations, tables used for the query. Condition is an expression that identifies the tuples that we are looking for. In SQL, it is possible to have multiple conditions and combine them with Boolean operators and or. For negating a condition, the not operator is used. It returns the total number of values in the specified field. It works on both numeric and non-numeric data types. Conditions are usually made of an attribute, a value and an operator that forms the condition. Example, name is equal to John. But the values themselves don't have to be constants. They can be the result of another subquery. We then talk about nested queries. Using the IN operator, nested queries can be as deep as necessary. SQL supports different comparison operators like is equal to, less than, greater than, less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, between, etc. If an operator is used to compare an attribute with a constant, we talk about restriction. If the operator is used to compare two attributes, then we talk about a join. With joins, data from different relations can be compared and combined. Of course, only attributes with the same domain value range can be compared. SQL is designed for a specific purpose, to query data contained in a relational database. SQL is a set-based declarative query language, not an imperative language such as C or BASIC. However, there are extensions to standard SQL which add procedural programming, language functionality such as control of flow constructs. SQL operators. An operator is a reserved word or a character used primarily in an SQL statement's where clause to perform operations such as comparisons and arithmetic operations. Operators are used to specify conditions in an SQL statement and to serve as conjunctions for multiple conditions in a statement. Just assume variable A holds 10 and variable B holds 20. Then addition. Add values on either side of the operator. Subtraction. Subtract right-hand operand from left-hand operand. Multiplication. Multiplies values on either side of the operator. Division. Divides left-hand operand by right-hand operand. Modulus. Divides left-hand operand by right-hand operand and returns remainder. Just assume variable A holds 10 and variable B holds 20. Then check if the values of two operand are equal or not. If yes, then condition becomes true. Checks if the values of two operands are equal or not. If values are not equal, then condition becomes true. Checks if the values of two operands are equal or not. If values are not equal, then condition becomes true. Checks if the value of left operand is greater than the value of right operand. If yes, then condition becomes true. Checks if the value of left operand is less than the value of right operand. If yes, then condition becomes true. Checks if the value of left operand is greater than or equal to the value of right operand. If yes, then condition becomes true. Checks if the value of left operand is less than or equal to the value of right operand. If yes, then condition becomes true. Checks if the value of left operand is not less than the value of right operand. If yes, then condition becomes true. Checks if the value of left operand is not greater than the value of right operand. If yes, then condition becomes true. The all operator is used to compare a value to all values in another value set. The AND operator allows the existence of multiple conditions in an SQL statement's where clause. The ANY operator is used to compare a value to any applicable value in the list according to the condition. The between operator is used to search for values that are within a set of values given the minimum value and the maximum value. The IN operator is used to compare a value to a list of literal values that have been specified. The like operator is used to compare a value to similar values using wildcard operators. The not operator reverses the meaning of the logical operator with which it is used. Example: not exists, not between, not in, etc. This is the negate operator. The OR operator is used to combine multiple conditions in an SQL statement's where clause. Null operator is used to compare a value with a null value. Changing of column headings. When displaying the result of a query, SQL Plus normally uses the name of the selected column as the column heading. This heading may not be descriptive and hence may be difficult to understand. We can change a column heading by using a column alias. Specify the alias after the column in the select list using a space as a separator. By default, alias headings appear in uppercase. If the alias contains spaces or special characters such as hash or dollar or is case sensitive, enclose the alias in double quotation marks. Within a SQL statement, a column alias can be used in both the select clause and the order by clause. We cannot use column aliases in the where clause. Both alias features comply with the ANSI SQL 92 standard. Option: both alias feature comply with the ANSI SQL 92 standard. The first example displays the names and the commission percentages of all the employees. Notice that the optional AS keyword has been used before the column alias name. The result of the query is the same whether the AS keyword is used or not. Also notice that the SQL statement has the column aliases name and com in lowercase, whereas the result of the query displays the column heading in uppercase. String concatenation operators can combine two or more character or binary strings, columns, or a combination of strings and column names into one expression. Wildcard string operators can match one or more characters in a string comparison operation such as like or pat index. An operator in a string expression that concatenates two or more character or binary strings, columns, or a combination of strings and column names into one expression, a string operator. It is the any valid expression of any one of the data types in the character and binary data type category except the image, text or text data types. Matches any string of 0 or more characters. This wildcard character can be used as either a prefix or a suffix. Matches any single character within the specified range or set that is specified between the brackets. These wildcard characters can be used in string comparisons that involve pattern making such as like and pat index. Matches any single character that is not within the range or set specified between the square brackets. It matches any single character in a string comparison operation that involves pattern matching such as like and pat index. The SQL order by clause allows to sort the records in result set. The SQL order by clause can only be used in SQL select statements. There may be a situation when we have multiple duplicate records in a table. While fetching such records, it makes more sense to fetch only unique records instead of fetching duplicate records. Aggregate functions. Aggregate functions perform a calculation on a set of values and return a single value. Except for count, aggregate functions ignore null values. Aggregate functions are frequently used with the group by clause of the select statement. The count function returns the total number of values in the specified field. It works on both numeric and non-numeric data types. All aggregate functions by default exclude null's value before working on the data. Count also considers nulls and duplicates. Example, table. Create table orders. Honored integer not null. Item desired char 40 not null. Some common generic data types are char x, a column of characters where x is a number designating the maximum number of characters allowed, maximum length in the column. Integer, a column of whole numbers, positive or negative. Decimal xy, a column of decimal numbers where x is the maximum length in digits of the decimal numbers in this column and y is the maximum number of digits allowed after the decimal point. Date, a date column in a DBMS specific format. Logical, a column that can hold only two values, true or false. Subquery. Subquery is a SQL query nested inside a larger query. A subquery may occur in a select clause, a from clause, a where clause. The subquery can be nested inside a select, insert, update or delete statement or inside another subquery. There are situations when we need to combine the results from two or more select statements. SQL enables us to handle these requirements by using set operations. The result of each select statement can be treated as a set, and SQL set operations can be applied on those sets to arrive at a final result. Union. The union operator returns all distinct rows retrieved by two component queries. Minus. Minus returns all rows from the first select that are not also returned by the second select. Intersect. Intersect returns only the rows retrieved by both component queries. Summary. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learnt in this lecture. In SQL, it is possible to have multiple conditions and combine them with Boolean operators and or. For negating a condition, the not operator is used. The most common operation in SQL is the query, which is performed with the declarative select statement. SQL uses null to handle missing information. It supports three-valued logic 3VL and the rules governing SQL 3-valued logic. An operator in a string expression that concatenates two or more character or binary strings, columns, or a combination of strings and column names into one expression, a string operator. The SQL order by clause allows you to sort the records in your result set. The SQL order by clause can only be used in SQL select statements.